Okay, we're live. So it's so annoying with this because you click go live and there's like a 5-second pause. And if you click it again, because you're an impatient bastard like me, then it just ends your stream. And it's just like, oh, great. Amazing. Cheers for that. So, yes, we should be now live. And indeed, I can see that we are. So, hello, grognards. Thanks for joining us. We're just going to do a catch-up tonight. There's absolutely loads of news to get through. And Matt has been doing some diligent work on the new Legions Imperialis and made notes of the improvements and maybe not improvements that they've made. So,
yeah, mostly improvements. There's some peculiar choices, but yeah, I get most of
it. A few weird ones. We'll talk about that in a little bit, and you can let me know whether or not you think it needed them. And you seemed quite positive in general about what's going on. But how's your week been, dude? So you didn't chat last week.
It's not been too bad, I don't think. Nothing massively of note happened that needs to be mentioned that relates to the channel. Although I did get all my LI orders through, which was nice.
You did? There's a lot. Those cards are chonky, man.
They are. They turned up from GW today. I kind of made a rod for my own back by actually doing Marines, Solar Auxilia, and Mech. So when it came to all three cards, I was like, you goddamn some bitches. That's not a cheap purchase for 3 packs of cards.
No, not really. No, not so much. What are you going to do if they bring out Talons of the Emperor? I mean,
Completely ignore them. It's only custode.
Oh, fair enough. You know what I did this week?
Okay.
Can you tell what I did this week from the stream?
You went to the gym?
No. I learned how to remove the backgrounds from pictures, so I've made us into transparent PNG thingies, so I can put our faces anywhere.
Ah,
yeah.
Blended.
I learned how to tame the GIMP.
So, good. With GIF transparent layers and things.
Yeah,
like
exactly. You've got to apply something called an alpha channel to it and stuff. It's not that bad actually. It was quite easy in the end. So I've been playing about with GIMP a little bit. I also got a really cool board game, Battle for Hoth. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. And I have recorded a review for that will go up on the channel in the next few days. So let's start with basically whatever this thing that I'm about to click on is. Aha, right. Not even worrying, I know, right? So we're going to start off with the new Dark Eldar that I did a video on today. This is what GW have just shown off earlier today.
Your bag, being a Dark Eldar player, I'm just kind of like, they have CHEBS and Husk Blades and skimmers that look cool, and that's about it for Dark Eldar.
Well, I've got a lot of Dark Eldar, and I've always liked the Dark Eldar. I very much liked because I was working for the company when the first lot of Dark Eldar came out, back in 3rd edition, and they're like, they're okay. Putting the spikes on individually is a bit of a dick move, but other than that, they were okay. But then Jez did his rework, and I thought we got some really nice models. Some of them have aged better than others, but in general, I thought we got a very solid range, and I got the whole lot. And then as time went on, I added stuff. They bought the Void Raven bomber out. I was like, oh yes.
I was literally about to say, the Void Raven is still one of the nicest models they've ever done.
It's a shame that they've kind of ballsed up flyers, but I was just like, yes, three Razor Wings and a Void Raven, absolutely. So I've got about 6,000 points of Dark Eldar currently unpainted. I think I'm going to try and do them with like a colour shift type thing. And I've put out this model. So they've sort of released this, and I like it, Matt, apart from the face. I think the face is really, really expressionless, like some kind of weird, creepy sex doll.
She's supposed to be just giving someone a Paddington hard stare?
I don't know, but I'm like, she's called Lady Malice. I kind of feel like she should have more malice. I mean, do you know what I mean?
It'd be funny. She's also wearing blue, so she could be like a Lady Paddington, just not overly bear-like.
True. I'm pretty sure that's the poison tongue get up for the Dark Eldar. But we've got a back view of her, and she's got a tail for some reason, because of course she has. Maybe it's a poison tail. I don't know, like a scorpion. But I mean, I think the model's okay. I don't think it's particularly inspiring. It's just an okay character model. she's not doing that much amazing, but it's okay. She's got a nice sword, she's got a fan, that kind of stuff. I think the model works, but that face there's absolutely nothing going on with it. It's almost like
I see you can cover it up with like a snotty hanky.
You can put a veil over it, but I'm not sure that makes it all that much better, if I'm being completely honest with you.
It would look cool if she had one of those mirror masks like Cobra Commander that some Harlequins have.
Hey, you could always swap it out for one of the, I think the Reaver helmets have that, and maybe one of the witches, I don't know. But I'm thinking, with a witch, with a head swap, she looks okay. But GW are going to want 30 quid for it, and I'm like, and just, the face almost looks human. It doesn't look like a Dark Eldar face. It looks too young and full and just... So, yeah, I thought it was okay. Just that face, I was just like, I don't know why you've done that. So, another thing that they showed off, Matt, was the new Archon. Multi-part Archon that...
Multipass.
That Valrak said would be a thing a while ago. And I think that this is definitely a step up from the old one that was kind of like
the old arms crossy one that you didn't
like. That was a bit of an awkward pose, I thought. And I think this one is definitely an improvement. A more dynamic pose. You can see you've got different war gear options. You've got this, I don't know what it is, box of tormented souls or something. I've not paid attention to Dark Eldar rules for a while because they stripped out all the war gear. But you've got a husk blade. You've got like a poison splinter pistol there. You've got an agonizer. So, it looks like what they're doing is if you remember back in around about 5th, maybe 6th, they released a captain that had loads of different options and was about 25 quid for a box.
Aye.
It looks like they're going that route. So they're going to give you one commander model, but there's going to be loads of different options, including Lady CHEBS little bits. So you can see, if you look at the green one and the blue one, you'll see there's a different chess piece.
Yeah.
So you've got a lady build and a male build.
Modern.
And these are quite nice. I think these are fine. I definitely think they're an upgrade on the old one that we used to have. From that perspective, let me just see if I can just zoom in a little bit here. Right, there we go. So yeah, I think these are quite nice. Obviously, it is just the same pose done twice with different bits on it, but I think they're a fairly good character model. Obviously, they're more expensive because GW don't expect to sell as many of them, but I think that they're okay. These things are always overpriced. I do like the fact that at least they've gone and redone it and not left us with that old sort of crossed arms Archon he always literally looks so awkward. Like he's even on tippy toes on the tactical rock he's on, because he's got his toes on the bottom of the rock and then his heels on the back of the rock, but up a bit. Very odd pose. I did get one for free from Wayland when they just had some bits they were giving out. There was a Sister of Battle versus Dark Eldar army box, if I remember correctly, and I got most of the Dark Eldar side. So I've got like a Venom and some bits and pieces. Extra Incubi, I think. I've got 2 Drazars for that reason. But anyway,
I got that and I sold the Dark Eldar.
Ah, there you go then. So for the Sisters of Battle. So I genuinely think that is a fairly nice update for the Archon. I think that's pretty good.
I'm impressed.
Then that is coming, of course, only in a battle box, so you're going to get this. I expect with the price range that's coming in shortly, which we are going to talk about because I've got a full list of all of the price changes. This is probably going to hit around about 160 quid, I reckon. But you do get a chonk there.
That's a Venom.
Ironically, this is actually more or less, and this is kind of scary. If you took out the Incubi and the Archon, this is more or less exactly the same army box that I got when I first got the Dark Eldar. Because all of these models are from Jez's update. Out of all of them, I think the Hellions have probably aged the worst. But most of the others are okay.
Oh yeah, they're the Green Goblin dudes, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. And some of the face sculpts aren't the best. I mean, they're okay, but in general, some of it just isn't maybe just up to the standards of the stuff we've got these days. I don't want to poo-poo Jez's work. His redesign on Dark Eldar I thought was excellent, and I need to go through that PDF of the Dark Eldar art book that you managed to grab. So I'm really looking forward to that, and dream of them one day remaking it physically, so I can get it signed by Jez along with my because he signed my Eldar book.
Ah, nice.
And a copy of Gothic and the Eldritch all the way back in 2007, I think it was.
I've got
Anyway, so yeah, moving on. This is your Codex cover, standard. You know, just looks like a Codex. I've already said that. Yeah,
that's a good one.
It's better than some of the ones they've released recently. I will give it that. Maybe it's a sign of what's going to happen for 11th. I have no idea if this Codex is compatible with 11th. Absolutely no idea at the moment. They don't say
not
it
even
here.
Speak of it.
But, you know, at this point, 11th is only 9 months out, which makes this Codex nigh on pointless. And that's why in my video I said I had to get rid of the Codex system, as much as you disagree with it. Right. So one last thing to look at for this, and that is the updated Combat Patrol. Now, Matt, do you remember the old Combat Patrol for Dark Eldar?
Absolutely not.
It was the best Combat Patrol you could get. It was a Raider, a Ravager, 5 Incubi, 10 Cabalites, and an Archon. Okay, it was that old crappy Archon, but it was the old Archon. Are you ready for the new Combat Patrol?
I can see it.
It is underwhelming, to say the least. 10 racks, a Homunculus, a Talus, and a Kronos. Although technically it's 2 Taluses, because I think it's a multi-part kit.
Yep.
Multi-build kit, sorry. I think it's a Talus, a Kronos, and there's one other thing you can build. But they're just the same thing with different arms, and it looks like it.
And then you've got a Dark Eldar Fabulous Bio at the bottom.
Yeah, you've got the Homunculus. So these rack models are rather monopose and static. As you can see, they're literally all the same, with just different bits on them, as it were. I think this is a definite downgrade, unfortunately. And considering that these are going to be going up, as I'll be mentioning in the price when we get to the price raises and the list, I think that's unfortunate for the Dark Eldar. I can appreciate that they've gone a different way, and they've gone like, okay, we've done the Cabalite Combat Patrol, and this is the Coven Combat Patrol. I can appreciate that. It's just, it's a downgrade in every single way. And just because you haven't made the majority of the Coven stuff in plastic, in my opinion, that's a cop-out for not putting more stuff in it. It's almost like they haven't sold many racks because they sell like 5 for 30 quid and they're about like 10 points each. So they're horrible, they represent horrible value for money. But yeah, that's your new Combat Patrol. I wasn't too impressed. And this is the preview of the Dark Eldar. There is more stuff coming. So you said?
It looks very melee heavy.
Yeah, this is just Coven. I mean, they've got all sorts of power from pain tricks, I presume, being, the homunculi. One thing I will say is that there was a load of rumours going around that basically everything in the Dark Eldar army was going to get remade. What I will say is I think that this post kind of dispels those rumours. I find it very unlikely that they would put out an army box with all of this stuff in it and then remake all of it. So I think that everything in this army box, especially considering you get the new Archon in it, I think everything in this army box will be what you will get. This will be like safe, for want of a better word. And the stuff that's not in this army box will be the stuff that gets remade. So there was talk about a Tantalus, like the catamaran style.
Oh, it's a double
Raider. Double Raider. And I can see that happening, and I can then see them putting Vect on a Tantalus rather than the Raider, and him having like a Tantalus barge, because then they can sell that for 100 quid, and they like to have a big model that they can sell.
Forge World did it with it had like a brass grate flooring and stuff, didn't it?
Correct. Yep. Resin model, brass gate flooring.
Nice.
Horrible for warping, but other than that, very good. So I could see them doing a Tantalus as a big model to sell. I could also, obviously, we're going to get plastic grotesques. That's going to happen. And on top of that, we are going to get a Court of the Archon, if that makes it into 10th edition Codex. So it was
the bundle of characters.
Yeah, Sliff, Medusa, and
those weird things from Dark Fortress.
Dark Fortress?
Blackstone Fortress.
Blackstone Fortress, that's more sense. Yeah, the Urgle. Is it the Urgle?
I want to say the things with the 4 eyes.
Yeah, that's it. I think the Urgle. So if you get a Court of the Archon, that also would be plastic. That, grotesques, and maybe the Beastmaster and the animal side of it. So that would be what I would expect. Sorry, James, that people thought, what with the Death Watch? I did miss that, mate. Sorry. Was that they thought they'd be a box of 10? Because they're not. They're a box of 5. But yeah. So that, I think that dispels any rumours of new witches, warriors. Obviously, the Incubi I knew anyway, and Hellions and Scourges, which I'm fine with. Only the Hellions I think really needed an update. Everything else I think can wait a few more years. I'd rather see the resin stuff brought into plastic. And let's face it, that's what they do with the Eldar. That's likely to be what they're going to do with the Dark Eldar. That's enough of the Dark Eldar.
I don't even think they do the resin stuff anymore, do they?
No, it's all gone. It's all taken off the website. You just can't have it at the moment. So you can't have grotesques. They don't sell them. Simple as that. You can't have the Court of the Archon. Even though it's in the book, they don't sell it. You can't have it. Beastmaster and the Warp Beasts and all that kind of stuff and the Chimera, don't sell it. So you can't have it. Simple as that, as far as GW is concerned.
During the book, I think it's safe to say we'll see them fairly soon after the Codex comes out, if not at the same time.
Oh, right. James is saying, the Ordo Xenos box had them and people thought they were safe to buy. Yeah, I mean, that was a while ago now, though, wasn't it? I mean, that was with Cotias. We're talking like 6 months. I would think these are safe. Never say never, because, hey, you never know. They may well do like a kill team, because that's obviously where we've got new Death Watchers kill team. So they may well do a new kill team. But I think as far as the actual range refresh goes, I don't think you'll see any of these models in there. I mean, it may well be that GW are just being ultra sneaky and, trying to get rid of the old sprues, maybe. I don't know. But the Dark Eldar have always been, because they're older models, they've never had that hideous price update. They've crept up, but they've never, I think 10 Cabalite Warriors is still 28 quid, which is pretty damn good value. And that's how it shows so badly up against the racks, because they were new models, and therefore GW released them with new pricing in mind, which is, why they're kind of bollocks, if I'm being completely honest with you. But, the Dark Eldar always represented that slightly cheaper because they're older models. Like, the gaps on the sprues are bigger, that kind of stuff. They're not the ultra refined, engineered models that we get these days. So let's have a quick look at the models that are coming up for pre-order this week. We've got the Chaos Dwarfs. I refuse to call them anything else. And I'm kind of baffled that they're releasing this as an army set. Like, I don't see under what circumstances, Matt, you can call that an army.
It is tad titular.
It really is, isn't it? I mean, it's just like... let's scroll it up a little bit more so you can see it. There's like, what? 10, 15 dudes and two
chonkers.
It's not even 15 dudes. It's like 11.
3, 4.
No, 12. 12 guys.
12, yeah.
And 2 War Machine pieces. I find it tough to call that an army. I really, really do. I'm sorry. Add to that the fact that I just don't like them. I didn't like them when they were revealed, but
It's like a heavy warband.
Yeah, it is kind of, isn't it? I mean, you take out those 2 machines and you are looking kind of like almost like a large Warcry box, especially when you consider it being Chaos Dwarfs they're going to be smaller, like the Votan. So, yeah, a little bit lackluster. I do wonder how well that's going to sell. I mean, God knows GW is just going to bloody sell out anyway. But you've got those
big ones in it.
Yeah, and it says here 14 brand new models, and they're going to want like 150 quid for it. I'm like, yeah. So whatever. And then you got. Let me shrink this down a little bit actually, because it's OBS. Why do you do this to me? There we go. So much modern technology, such wow. There we go. So yeah, there's you. I mean, when I saw these, dude, I was just like, yeah. I think that was kind of the noise I made as well. You know, I was just, yeah. It's just very.
The hats are too small.
Yeah, well, obviously. I mean, Brian Ansell would not be happy.
He would not.
R.I.P. Brian Ansell. No, I mean, I think I really hoped that these would be an old world army, and therefore have old world aesthetics.
I thought you were going to say, and therefore would be safe.
Well, yeah, would be good. And instead, we've got this, and like that. I'm sorry, that is just like a toy action figure as far as I'm concerned. That's. I look at that, and then I look at like the what is it? The Brazen Bull from Trench Crusade.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like one of these is quite obviously for kids, one of them is quite obviously for adults, and I'll leave you to work out which is which. You know, so kind of the feeling that I get from that, if I'm being completely honest with you, which is, you know, it's a shame. But I do have problems with Age of Sigmar. Sometimes they knock it out of the park. I don't think they did this time round. I really don't. There's your cannon thing, which, you know, it's okay, but I just don't feel like it's got any character to it. It's just all angles and just kind of. I mean, you had the old Hell Cannon, and now you have this.
It looks very Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings, Nazgul sort of inspired with all the angles.
Yeah. That looks like that's the end of that carousel thing. Yeah, I'm just not. I mean, I'm sure that. No, that's all you get. Yeah. Another thing you're getting is this Spearhead Death Rattle Tomb Host. Now, considering that these are cheaper than their 40k counterparts, and that you pay a 40k tax, I think for the 90 quid that this will be, that's a lot of shit. That is more of an army than the Chaos Dwarf thing is.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, seriously, that at least kind of looks like an army. You've got what? 2 lots of infantry, 5 cavalry, character.
Got some gravestones, they're going to help.
And some gravestone objective markers, which, knowing GW, they probably count as separate miniatures.
Of course they do.
So, they haven't put it in there, but yeah, on the box, I bet you anything it counts. So yeah, you get 2 units of 10 Death Rattle Skeletons, 10 Elite Barrow Guards, so 3 units of infantry, 5 Knights, and a White King. All right, that White King is a very old model, but it's very nice. I mean,
that's good.
That's cool, man. I think that's, you know, if you want to do like I mean, obviously it's not a lot of points when you come to it because it's undead, but I think that's more of an army than the other bloody thing.
It's a nice box.
Yeah, it's not bad, man. I mean, you know, 90 quid, get it from a discounter, it's down to 72 quid for that. I think you're getting something half decent. So yeah, generally do. Opposed to this, which is your Spearhead for the goblins, which is just like. You know what I mean? It's like these two things are the same price. I'm like, what? Nah. And I thought that new Goblin release, whatever they were calling them, Git Mobs, wasn't it? I thought they were massively overpriced anyway when they first came out. Because I think, like, this Chariot... oh, no, they haven't got the boss one in there because the boss thing was like 60 odd quid in his own. So even though this is 90 quid, this still will represent a decent saving. Absolutely, for sure. But it just shows how overpriced the stuff is to start off with.
Yep.
One of these is an army. One of them is a raiding force.
Once again, one of these things is not like the other.
Exactly, yes. One of these brings joy. The other one, not so much. And then you've got this one. So obviously you've got new Necromunda book, because every new release needs to have a new book. And, it's a little bit annoying, but I don't mind. It's going to have new lore and stuff in it. And I like what specialist games do.
They put a fair amount of stuff in them.
Yeah. I think it's fair enough. I do dislike collecting all these different books, one per gang. But, I kind of almost give Necromunda a bit of a pass. We'll get on that in a second. Obviously, along with that, you've also got your expansion box for the Palanite Enforcers. And I thought these were nice.
Yeah, good.
And if they left it here, I would have been perfectly happy and fine. I don't like the dogs. I'm sorry, I don't like the dogs. I think your Cyber Mastiff in Darktide is way better than these. He is a gooder boy than these. And...
Better boy.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not a fan of those two. But other than that, I think this is all really nice. On top of that, you've got your upgrade pack. And I was thinking really cheekily here, you know how the Gene Stealer Jackal Alphas is like 25 quid?
And
it's just a bike with a sniper rifle?
Yep.
Get your box of Jackal Alphas for like 40 quid for 5 bikes and a buggy. There's your sniper rifle. So whether it be from bit sellers or whether you want to pick up this set, because you get a load of nice heads in there, and who doesn't like a nice bit of head? And, your shields. It's okay. YouTube really removed a lot of their things. Although my other channel, I've got to send over my ID because it's been restricted. I'm like, what? I mean, I've only been slagging off Alien Earth. Ridley Scott must have had a word. Like, nah,
it is crap though.
It is awful. Nice little upgrade box there. Like 25 quid or whatever they are these days. I don't know. This is where I started to lose it a little bit with the Palanites. Unfortunately, I thought this was unnecessary. I was like, I'm not sure we need these weird psycho things.
I like them,
and I'm not sure they got the guy. Yeah, I'm not sure we need the guys with coats either.
I like those as well.
Yeah, you would. I was just like, I was fine with this. I was like, yeah, this is good. I like this. This is your elite dudes. And they all look great. And then I was like, no. And also, not necessary. I like these better as models, don't get me wrong. I just think they're unnecessary. These I don't like at all. I'm sorry, I just don't like these. They remind me of the bloody Electro Priests. And I didn't like those either. And then you get a flying giant bug, because who doesn't want one of those? I think these are all... Oh no, these are plastic.
Those are out of the mist. Stephen King's going to sue somebody.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Although they look a bit bigger than what's in the mist.
So these are resin, the extra Palanite Enforcer guys, but this is plastic. So, because I have got a load of these. So yeah, and then obviously cards and dice, because GW. Made to order Space Wolves. Some old classics there.
It's proper old school.
Nigel.
I've still got an Iron Priest somewhere.
Lucas and Bjorn. I am interested to see how much Bjorn is. Oh, that's weird. They showed him with his banner pole before, and now he's got no banner pole. So I wonder if he comes with one.
I think I've just snipped it out of the picture.
Well, no, it's not that. The model they showed first time round was the second edition paint job. This is the new paint job. This is when they repainted Bjorn. That's not a second edition paint job at all, I assure you. They hadn't learned how to do that kind of fading in second edition. So that's a new paint job for him. So I don't know if you get the banner pole or not. And then other than that, you've got Black Library, Blair, and Warhammer Plus double Blair.
I like the scroll one. It says Lupus. Yes. Lupus.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty cool. That all looks okay. Old school stuff. That's what happens. That's what keeps grognards happy. Because sometimes we are happy. Another thing I wanted to briefly talk about, Matt.
Hold on.
What?
Content.
Yeah. Happy. Yeah, it's a bit much, isn't it? What was I thinking? Going crazy. I'll have another bit of my drink.
Sounds like you've had too much already.
Ah, sweet alcohol. Right. So, with that little bit out of the way, another thing that I did want to talk about just quickly was Mailfaux. Now, Matt, you've probably got no interest in Mailfaux at all.
Lost me already.
But it's getting a 4th edition. And I just want to quickly talk about it because there's one thing about this that I noticed that I was just like, oof, that could work against it. Now, Mailfaux, for those of you who don't know, is a skirmish game where you don't have dice and you use cards. You have a deck of cards, and what you reveal as you flip your cards shows what happens as opposed to dice, and then you can cheat fate and flip a card instead. It is quite good. It is an alternate to GW, and they used to have these really nice kind of plastic models that were made in China that were, in my opinion, more or less the equal of GW. They were different scale. They were smaller. Lopan's beard will go down in history. Do you know Lopan's beard? The legend of? So it was a guy like he was from the Ten Thunder, I think, and it was like a little Chinese dude, or let's just say Asian. Don't cancel me, little Asian dude. And the beard, the little goatee beard on his face, bearing in mind these like 28mm models, was separate. It was a separate piece.
That's some Chinese trollery right there.
It's absolutely horrific. So yeah, that was Mailfaux, and they used to have these really nice sort of plastic models, and they're getting a 4th edition basically. It's going into beta and everything right now. There's all the YouTubers that have actually got massive subscriber rates and everything are getting sent there, whatever. But what I wanted to talk about quickly was the new models, because this is your starter set, and as you can see, you've got your robot dudes and you've got your Cthulhu-y kind of underground dudes. But the reason I wanted to talk about this is Weird tried launching something called The Other Side as a Kickstarter. Now, I know this because Wayland fulfilled it. And what The Other Side was an attempt to do pre-assembled models. It failed miserably, so much so that stores are still trying to get rid of their stock. It was horrifically overpriced for what was basically PVC restic kind of board game models, but charged at premium rates. Oof. So it's like 50 quid for 6 or 7 like models kind of thing. And they just didn't match up to it. Like there'd be a big dragon and it'd be 60 quid, but because it's made like a board game model, it would have massive gaps everywhere, and it wasn't worth the money. So that stuff just sits and rots on shelves, and anytime there's a sale, you'll generally see it there. I got one again for free from Wayland because I think it was like something was wrong with it. I think I had to take some cards out of it, something like you can have the models, and I've got them, and they're okay, but they are just a good board game model, and you can't charge war game model prices for board game models. You just can't. Now, the reason I mention all this, Matt, is because the new edition of Weird looks to be exactly the same thing. So whereas you used to have all these lovely plastic multi-part models that you could, put together like a normal sprue, and the detail was really nice and sharp, they now appear to have these kind of soft, shiny plastic. So, for example, like all these arms would bend and stuff, like board game models. And that seems to be what they're doing, which I think might put some people off. It might not. They might be great. I've not seen them in person yet. They might be brilliant, but I don't know for sure. And I'm a little bit worried that they've gone down that route because these models look okay as renders, but it then becomes quite obvious that these are just these plastic pre-assembled models done en masse like board games. So these are like from the starters, and like I'm not sure how these details and stuff are going to come out. I'm really not. So I did find that a little bit of a shame, if I'm being honest. How do I get off that? I don't? Fair enough. Fine, we'll go look at another page. And it looks like, from what I can see, it's not just the starters, because if it'd just been the starters, I'd be like, okay, that's fair enough. But looking at the core sets, because basically what you would do is that is your war band. That's all you need to play the game, apart from like a deck of cards. And then you could add a few little bits onto it as well. But from what I can see, these also look to be one part board game styly models a la the other side. And that does have me concerned regarding how good they're going to look. And a real shame, because Mailfaux did do some lovely sprue models. So, we'll have to wait and see on that. It might be that they're great, but I have my concerns, which is a real shame, because I'd hate to see Mailfaux suffer, because it's a cool system, very popular, good tournament scene, and I kind of hope that Weird haven't. Because put it this way, there's not going to be a great big... I've seen the pre-orders. There's no price cut. These are like the same kind of thing as the other side and the same kind of price. And I am surprised that they're trying that again after the other side failed so absolutely miserably. But, we'll have to wait and see. Right, let's have a look at something else. Let's have a look at the prices for the increases that we were getting. I have a full list of the price increases. No, I'm not special. You can get this yourself if you go onto the GW Trade website. You can just download it. Now, the average they said was 4%, and that is more or less right. I think it works out closer to 5%, but it's not horrific. However, the highest rises are like nearly 8-9%, and then the lower rises are like, I think the lowest was about 0.2 or something stupid like that, like a really tiny little jump. But the average overall is closer to 5. But there were a couple of real notable exceptions that I was like, oh Christ, that is a lot of money now. Like it was okay, kind of like that is a lot of money, but it's always been a lot of money to, oh God, this is a big ass jump. So all your Legions Imperialis stuff is basically going up by £1. So that's like 3%. But so from £31.50, you're now going to pay £32.50. That's just, that's the standard. But the ones that I wanted to make note of were, let's have a look. Where was it? So things like, here you go, for example, Old World. Your Old World stuff is going up, and those are old models. They didn't need to go up. Like, those models are 20 years old, if not more. You've already made your money back on the sprue. You're just paying for the raw material at this stage. I don't think they needed to go up, but everything has, no matter what. The Grand Cafe stuff, which was already pretty pricey, like your Sky Lantern, £95, now £98. Your Tomb Kings, your Warriors of Chaos, all just jumping up just that little bit. Like, this is one of those crazy little ones I was talking about. Look, 1875, now £19. So not a crazy jump, but again, old models, really old models, and they're still going up in price. So that's all your Old World stuff. I'm afraid that is all going up. If you do want any of it, grab it now. If you were going to get it anyway, I would advise against going and doing what GW want you to do, which is going and spending loads of money for the sake of it, just to try and save yourself like 4%. It's not that much in the scheme of things. Certainly not worth like putting yourself in debt or something now for, as opposed to in a few weeks. But yeah, like your data cards, £19 to £19.50. It just seems so pointless. And then your kill teams are going up. So your 10 scouts, which was £47.50, they're now £49.50. Practically £50 for 10 scouts.
5 for each.
That's
not even full Marines.
That's pretty hefty, dude, And the mandrakes that I was talking about in the video earlier, 10 mandrakes, you know, a tiny little points unit, 50 quid for 10. That's hefty, man. That really is. I mean, you know, it is a little raise, but that is gonna, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't pay 50 quid for 10 scouts, mate. No chance.
Should have sampled the guy for Ghostbusters. It's too much. I won't pay it.
Yes, exactly. Oh, well, we'll just put this guy right back here then. So yeah, basically, I'm afraid your stuff's going up. Your old world's going up. Your Blood Bowl teams are going up. Only a pound. Again, that's not a big jump. That's the 3% type thing, but they're all going up. And when you bear in mind that these guys got a 20% increase last time round, it's just like, oh man. Just doesn't seem like there's anything, you know, escapes that hike that GW do. And as I've said, the problem I have with this hike is it comes on top of the stealth increases that they've already done. New releases have already been proportionately more expensive when they've come out, and then they go up again. So yeah, I mean, your Necromunda rulebook, £44 to £44.50, only a little jump. But the ones that I really wanted to bring your attention to, so let's just get through a load of this. So one thing that is interesting is the Cerastus doesn't seem to be going up. That was 125 quid, and it doesn't seem to be going up. Likewise, Fulgrim doesn't. But here we go. Where was it? I mean, it may well be that some of this stuff, rather than saying it's not going up, it's just a case of that, you know, they can't get it as a third-party retailer. I've not worked in the trade industry for like GW or any of the companies for a long time now. But yeah, like Orokan the Diviner, 28 quid, now up to 29.50. Due to the cults are all going up, you know, it's nothing safe. Let me just get to the here we go, the combat patrols, because this is a big one that I wanted to hit, and it's weird because it looks like they've removed this, because the earlier version that I downloaded, terrible English, I do apologise, had these all going up from £100 to £105 recommended retail. And these are the ones that I really feel like they shouldn't have changed. Do you know what I mean? Like, £100 buy-in is like, well, technically I suppose it's that sweet spot. When you hit 105, you're almost kind of like, why are you bothering? Like, that extra £5, you leave that off, and then that combat patrol seems like such a better deal because the other stuff's already gone up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would have kept that buying at £100. I would not be raising those. That's very, very interesting to me. But yeah, this is all available if you guys want to grab it. Just go on the GW Trade website, and it's under order forms. You know, it's always been there. What I will say is the new releases, the pre-orders don't tend to be there. They leave those off, obviously, because that's new stuff. But this is just a list of all the increases, and everything's just going up. As I say, the maximum I think was about 8-9%, and then you know the bottom was like 0.5, 0.2% or something like that. But yeah, like your battle tomes, already 37 quid for a book that's out of date in no time. Now £38 for a book that's out of date in no time. Yeah, just slowly but surely a little bit less plastic for your, well, yeah, a little bit less plastic for your buck, I suppose. So nothing overly egregious, but I did think that, you know, bumping up the combat patrols was weird, and that does also mean the spearheads have also gone up. It's really weird that this has been taken out again, because again, Warhammer Cursed City had gone up from 125 to 129.50, I think it was.
Weird increase.
So it's weird that they've taken these out. I don't know why. I don't know if I have the old version downloaded somewhere. 'Cause I did download it, but it might have been on my phone, to be honest. But you see, they said like all the hobby stuff was all staying the same. Not according to this. Painting handle going up. Colour assembly stand going up. Spray stick going up. Bases going up. Knife going up.
Dangerous statement.
Yeah, £20 to £20.50. It seems so pointless. Like £20 to £20.50 £20 and 50 pence. You've got a £20 note on you and you want a Citadel knife. God knows why. You can get better well cheap. Well cheap? God, awful. You can get better cheaper. But
Essex, innit?
Essex, innit? Can't take the Essex out of the lad even when he goes to Nottingham. But £20.50. Like, I have a £20 note. I can't afford this knife because I only have a £20 note. I don't have the extra 50p. It seems weird. You think they just bump something else up by 50p and leave that? I don't know. Very odd. Very odd. But yeah, full list of prices there. I haven't got your take on the price rise yet, Matt. What do you think? I mean, obviously, it's roughly inflation, 4%. But, rather than doing it in March, May like they normally do, they've done it now. And here you can see, the spearheads have all gone up, £87.50 to £91. £91. Why not just leave it at 90? Who pays £91 for something? It's just so dense.
It's probably all done on like some weird set percentage for each thing.
I imagine so. Yeah, it seems so weird for me. Like, you leave it at 90 quid and people are like, oh, yeah, nice, found 90 quid. You look at 91, you're like, why? I don't know, maybe that's just my autistic brain going in overload. But yeah, Matt, what do you think about the price increases, dude?
Innit? I think it sucks. If I go into the shop with my brand new official £90 note, I'm going to be fucked.
Right, sir, you need to go to Element Games, just 2 roads over. Yeah, a bit weird. I mean, £87.50, as I say, they were always cheaper than the combat patrols, and as far as I'm aware, they will still be cheaper than the combat patrols because the combat patrols are going to be £105. But I would just left it at 90 quid. I don't know why they've gone to 91. It's so weird.
It's all extra money. And like I said, there's probably just some algorithm that says if the product
hang on. Aha!
If it belongs to X category, then it goes up by X%.
There we go. That's why you couldn't see the price ranges, because when it gets to triple digits, it didn't fit in there anymore.
I didn't fit in the cell, so it still hashed it out.
Yeah. Should have sussed that earlier. I'm ashamed. I blame the Kraken. So there you go. Official confirmation. The combat patrols are going up from £100 to £105. And I think that's a mistake. So I think as you're buying, I think it's weird. I think you look at it at 100 quid and you just like, as a marketing point of view, like, oh, right, okay, well, on top of that, I need to get my glue and my paints and that kind of stuff. But okay. You look at it at £105 and you just, no. I'm sorry, I would have left those at £105. The plastic isn't really costing you a great deal extra. It's pence for the raw material to make this stuff. I would. Oh God, you just got a notification again. YouTube letting them down. And yeah, I would have left those at £100 and then just used the opportunity for the additional saving to sell more combat patrols. Are they still selling that awful Space Marine combat patrol? Have they got rid of that?
Blocked it from my memory. It's just too crap.
Ooh, I'll just change the font on that one. Combat Patrol World Eaters. World Eater.
I was waiting for that. The bolt thrower reference.
So yeah. It's all going up, guys. As I said, you can get this list. Just go on the trade website, download it. If you change your location to America, you'll get the American one. Canada, the Canadian, oh, God's sake, what's wrong with me tonight? Canadian one, and so on and so forth. But yeah, there's your list. All the price rises. It sucks, but GW are going to do what GW do. I mean, at the end of the day, you either pay it or you don't pay it. But yeah, there you go, £125 to £129 for Curse.
Press, they still do it.
Yeah, kind of. Just want to quickly look at the Bane Blade and see what the Bane Blade went up to, because that was already kind of horrific money.
You do get a shitload out of that kit, though, don't you? You can get
you do. You can build. It was quite funny actually, because was it what's his name? Ian Jay. That's it, Jay, from Eons of Battle.
Oh, not from the In-Betweeners.
Not from the In-Betweeners. He showed a way that you could build every single variant from the box. And one of them involves a bit of cutting in the hull, and you had to make like a little shelf. Because I think it's the Storm Lord. Different names.
Is that the transport one? One of them's a transport.
Yeah, it's that one that's got like the crew compartment. You have to take a chunk out of it. But Eons of Battle's video showed you how to do it. So yeah, the Baneblade's going up from 115 to 120. So, go figure, I guess. I mean, it's
a bit of a piss take considering how much fucking profit they make.
Yeah, it is. I think so. And for the record, the second column here is what the third-party retailers pay, and the last column is what they'll pay going forward, just in case you were wondering. So, let's get shot of that. Matt, did you want to talk about Legion Imperialis for a little bit? Seeing as you've done so much work looking into it.
How long have you fucking got?
Not that long, so...
Fine, I'll just have to talk through it really quick, like fucking Blur from Transformers. But yeah, I mean, I was kind of interested to see what they do. I mean, I've got my book here. Hopefully I won't have to reference it too much. I haven't found a digital copy of it yet. And I don't fancy hefting that tome around. It's like 7,000 pages or fucking something. But yeah, most of the changes that they put in it are pretty solid, I think. They've improved a whole chunk of units. They haven't obviously changed every unit like the Warcom article hinted at.
Right.
But they've made a whole lot of changes, and I think a lot of them are positive.
Are there any changes to like the core rules, or have they largely left that alone?
It's all units.
Right, okay. That's something at least.
Yeah, so a handful of units actually got extra rules, like an additional special rule or something like that. But for the most part, it's just unit stuff, like points changes, and there's a few little tweaks here and there for unit amounts and things like that.
Gotcha, yep.
And weapons. One of the weapon changes made me very happy because I'm petty, and when I'm right about something and I'm like, this has been fucking wrong the whole time, and it turns out that I'm right, I'm like, yes, in your face, even though no one argued against me whatsoever.
So you don't start looking for the camera in your room like I do, that GW have put there?
No.
I mean, they're close enough to send out assassins if they want to. After my 13 ways to change Warhammer video, I'm looking over my shoulder a little bit more, I have to say.
They're watching it right now.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I will say about the Legion Imperialis thing, it does seem like this is almost like a balanced data slate that they're making you pay for. Or that they're... Because obviously it's a compendium of the other stuff as well, so I get that. But they've not released the army update rules for free as far as I'm aware. And I kind of feel like they should. Like the last supplement was only, 5-6 months ago? I kind of feel like they should release the rules for free.
The more recent stuff got the least changes, if any.
Which makes sense, because, I mean, when did the Legion Imperialis come out? November, year before last?
Yeah, I think so.
I want to say it's like November, the year before last, because it got delayed because of the whole...
And what a launch it was.
Blood and Honour thing. Oh, yes, we've done multiple videos about what a screwed up launch that was. And we were like, I bet they can't do worse than this. And then Saturnine said, hello.
Jeez, hold my mule.
Think about it, man. Saturnine's going to have to go up. So it's like, 195 quid already?
I want to talk about it.
It's going to have to go over 200 quid. Anyway, carry on.
So yeah, I mean, I had to go into the new units first because I got impatient. I was like, I want to see what they're like. And so Marines finally got artillery. We got I've been sitting there putting them together tonight. Actually, the Whirlwind, like Scorpius and Whirlwind box.
That's right. Yes, they got a whole new wave, didn't they?
Yeah,
Vindicators and stuff like that. So
you get 4 of each in there. So I suspect most people will probably want to get 2 boxes. Obviously, the Rhino chassis are all the same, but it's the turrets that are different. And it's actually the first time we've seen a proper Whirlwind for 30k, like a 30k era Whirlwind.
It is, isn't it? Because before that, you only had the Scorpius. Yeah,
and they're nice and chunky. I like how they look. So it's kind of cool. It's just kind of like one sort of missile launcher rack, 2 rows of 4, rather than 2 separate ones like the old 40k Whirlwind.
Okay, yep.
So yeah, but I proper like them. So let me see, what did I put down? So the Scorpius has shorter range than crack missiles, so it's going to be less than... For some of these, I didn't put down a lot of details because I kind of wanted people to find out stuff for themselves a little bit.
Okay, yep.
So they're shorter range than crack missiles, which are a 20-inch range, I think, for missile launchers. But they get an extra die. They've got better AP. They can fight indirect, and they are light AT. So they're not anti, but you can hit vehicles and infantry with them. But because they're light AT, you can't use their AP for vehicles.
Right. Okay. Yep.
So it's 100 points for 2 tanks, and I put down 4 shots versus 40 points for 4 infantry shots. So you pay 100 shots, you get 2 tanks, which have got 2 shots each. Whereas if you're using infantry like Marines with missile launchers, then it's 40 points for 4 guys. So depends really what you want. If you want the vehicles, then you've got these guys for artillery as an option. If you want to stick with infantry, then it's going to be missile launchers. Whirlwinds have a longer range than frag missiles, which again is 20. They can also fire indirect, but they've got rapid fire and they're not light, which Marine frag missiles are, so they can't damage vehicles at all. But the Whirlwinds can, because they don't have the light special rule on the weapon. So they're a pretty good choice. They're 90 points for 2, which is 4 shots again, versus 40 points for 4 infantry shots. But as we'll see later on, I changed that Marine... Actually, I think all missile launchers got it. So Marines and the Aethon Heavy Sentinels, their missile launchers, for their frag mode, they both got bumped down from 4+ to hit to 5+ to hit.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that makes infantry and buildings a little bit more survivable.
A little bit more survivable, yeah. I mean, are there any sort of like... Because obviously the main reason that GW change things is to combat metas and things that might be slightly skew-with. Do you get a sense of any of that from the Legion Imperialis changes? Was there anything that the community was crying out for that, you know? I
don't know. I tend to avoid a lot of Facebook groups and stuff these days.
They're full of people. It sucks.
Yeah, I can't be whinging about stuff and whatnot. But there's definitely a push to make infantry in general slightly more survivable.
Okay, yeah, cool.
And Solar Auxilia, Knights, and Titans all got improvements across the board.
Right, okay. They probably needed that boost, to be honest, didn't they? I mean, it's one of the problems with the Horus Heresy in general is it's Space Marine versus Space Marine versus Space Marine, and then you've got the Solar Auxiliary, and they're like, and we're here too. And the Space Marine's like, very good. Yeah. Pat on head, you know. I mean, at least you tried, kind of thing, you know. So yeah, I get that. Yeah.
If you want more models that are slightly less killy individually, then you've got Solar Auxilia. Like, I mean, they're not a bad army. They look cool, but you know they're not. Yeah,
I love the look. As I say, I've got 2 boxes of the bloody army set sitting in the pile of shame. I refuse to call it a pile of opportunity. It's a pile of shame. I need motivation. I need that girl from the woman from Game of Thrones, you know, with the bell, just constantly, constantly. Shame.
Hannah Waddingham.
Shame. God. Hannah Waddingham.
Yes, it is. First
from
time
Fall
I ever
Guy. No way.
Yeah. And from the magnificent Ted Lasso, and that's coming from someone that hates football.
I would not have caught that, dude. I would not have caught that.
Go back. Now you know what she looks like. Go and look at the face and you're like, oh shit, so it is.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I kind of need that motivation. I mean, the thing is, since starting Grumpy Grognard Gaming, and I'm not complaining here at all, because I do like it, it gives me a lot of joy. I don't get so much time for hobby, basically. I spend, like, it's nearly a full-time job to do many of these videos. This is the whole reason why CHEBS went live, because now I don't have to edit it.
Yeah.
I'd literally have to spend like 15 hours editing CHEBS. And putting all the pictures to it and all that kind of stuff. And I just don't need to anymore. So that's one of the main reasons why it's gone live. Ruski says he liked the book. Kevin says, why don't you do a hobby live stream? Very simple reason for this, actually. Due to my autism, I always have to have 2 sources of input at all times. It's weird. I can't focus on one thing, so I need to have something in the background. So I normally have some kind of heavy metal or YouTube playing in the background. And if that comes over on the stream, I'm going to get smashed with copyright. That is literally pretty much the only reason. So maybe I could find some royalty-free music, like generic heavy metal nonsense that I could play, and then I could do something live. But that's the only reason I haven't done it live so far.
So I'll give you permission to play my band stuff. You can use that.
You don't have a label, no? You don't have a label that's going to go like, "Arrgh."
No.
Cool.
No, it got released in Japan by some company, but we never really heard anything from them after they actually released it. So fuck knows what happened there.
Nice. There you go. So in the future, at some point, I'll do that. I'll play Slayer, and if you like it and you want a CD, you'll be able to get one from Matt. So
Yeah.
I'll put you in touch.
Yeah.
Epic plug there, Matt. Sorry to stop you. Mate. Carry on with Legions Imperialis.
Yeah, no problems. I'm kind of used to it. Like Mastodons are good. I've got me 2 boxes of these bad boys because I don't think 2 is going to cut it. So they're good and chunky. They're a good alternative to Thunderhawks because they're tougher as well.
Yes.
Although they're kind of slow, so you're still going to need careful planning on where you deploy them and what route they're going to take, despite each one having 2 void shields, which is kind of cool. And I think they can carry something daft like 8 dudes each, like 8 bases.
Actually, you know what, Risky? That's a really good idea. Why the hell didn't I think of that? I could just get some headphones. I mean, it means you won't have anything to listen to apart from my voice when I remember to speak while I'm painting, but that is something that I could do.
Not too different to this then, really, is it?
Yeah, I've got my headphones at the moment, so there's no echoing. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
All good.
Fair enough.
The Typhon and Cerberus look decent. I mean, I don't really like the models. I would have preferred to seen like the glaive and the
Fellblade. Yeah, and the other one, what was it? The
Scimitar? Falchion.
Falchion. That's it. Yeah, Falchion. Yeah. I imagine they're coming at some point.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're probably waiting until they do until they release the chonky.
Oh yes, 40k chonky ones. Yes, please.
Yes,
please. Once.
Let me see. So the Typhon's pretty scary. Like the Dreadhammer cannon's like a 16-inch range. It's 2 dice, 3+ to hit, -4 AP, and it's got demolition as well, so it can target structures. So if your infantry thought they were safe in the building, there's not a building. So that's cool. It's a decent range to hit stuff, and most standard civic buildings in Imperialis have a save of 5+, but it's on 2d6.
Okay. Yep.
So a -4 is going to significantly mess with that.
It's like the old Terminator saves in 2nd edition.
Yeah. Whereas the Cerberus isn't for demolishing buildings so much. It's like a massive tri-neutron laser.
Yes, yeah. Titan killer, I presume.
Yes, that's like a 24-inch range, 3 dice, 4+ to hit, -3 AP, and it's got shock pulse as well. So if it hits a target, doesn't wound. If it hits a target, then I think like their movement is halved and it's -1 for them to hit for the next turn.
Gotcha. Okay, yep, fair enough.
Off the top of my head, and that affects the whole detachment that you hit, not just the model that got hit. So that's going to be quite trolly. Vindicators look okay. Like I got a box for completeness, but I've never been a fan of the Vindicator. Like not in 40k, not in 30k.
Shocking. Demolisher cannon on the front of a Space Marine tank. Brilliant.
No, I mean mostly because if you get a weapon destroyed, you've suddenly got an expensive brick with a Stormbolter on it.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So I've never really.
That's why you wait. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that doesn't happen these days, but yeah, it's a fair point.
Yeah.
In the old editions.
Yeah, suddenly you've got a big rammy brick, and that's all it is. I mean, they look okay. They're a 12-inch range, so it's not amazing, but it's quite a small scale, so that's not too bad.
Yep.
It's like 1 dice, 4+ to hit, -3 AP. So it's potentially you're going to need a lot of them to like destroy a structure, but you can field up to I think it's 8 in a detachment. So assuming they survive to get to within 12 inches of what you want them to blow up, then could be useful. I mean, I put down 280 points of Typhons. They max out at 6 a unit, which is 12 shots, and Vindicators are like 320 points for 10. So it's 10 in a unit. So the Typhons give you more points, more shots points, but they're different slots. So it's like a battle tank slot versus heavy armor. So
this artillery sort of almost supplement, I suppose. They haven't done a supplement; they've done a compendium, but it's technically a supplement. Is this, do you think, going to completely screw over Solar Auxilia armies? I mean,
no,
because obviously artillery, you would imagine that their infantry is not going to do very well against it. Is anything like a counter to the Caradon Ogres, which were a bit of a problem for a while?
We'll get to that.
He's already accounted for it.
get to that. So there's a few little tweaks for Legion rules. I've put down the Peck Legion, which is Alpha Legion to the non-map people.
Yep.
They got vehicles taken out of their mutable tactics nonsense. So it's mostly, I think it's just infantry, cavalry, and walkers.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Which now applies to, but they're one of my least favorite legions, so I haven't memorized what their rule is because I don't.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it's just a few other stuff like Imperial Fist got heavy bolters added to their discipline fire list.
Yeah, which you'd think that's just an oversight, I imagine, or
Yeah.
they weren't sure whether they could put it in without destroying the game, and because I imagine when it comes to these games, specialist games being an even smaller department than the main studio, probably get even less time to playtest than anything else.
Definitely.
So,
Yeah, definitely.
Unfortunately, thancefully, although it had a botched launch, Legion Imperialis seems to come out of it okay. Richie saying he hopes that Saturnine gets its own supplement. Would be great to get some tiny Terminators that teleport. Yeah, could definitely mix it up a little bit. I mean, Legion Imperialis does seem like the right kind of game scale-wise for having the Arachnus turret thingy.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be more useful in this than it is in 30k.
Yeah, you think it'd make more sense. What I'd like to see is Primarchs in Legion Imperialis. I don't know if it's possible.
that'd be cool.
But I'd love to see Primarchs because, again, it's the kind of scale of battle that you'd expect to see a Primarch turn up. You know, not in a
like the old
tiny
Epic.
skirmish.
Yeah, like the old Epic. I remember the old Demon Primarchs. They were literally like 28mm models.
Yes, they were. Yeah, they were great.
But it was like epic scale. Yeah. Looking back on them now, they're kind of like, oh, that's cute.
Yes.
But,
I think there was somebody who was using them as familiars for his Chaos Sorcerer.
that's great.
Yeah, it was great. God, I can't remember who it was now. But yeah, like the old Epic 90s models. Yeah, he was using them as Chaos years and years and years ago now. But yeah, he used them as familiars. It was pretty cool. It sounds like a decent update, I suppose. Any other major changes that you? The Thunderhawks had been.
They didn't get fucking fixed at all, which was quite a surprise.
I'm trolling you. Yes, say.
I'll carry on going through the list. Like a bunch of what used to be called formations of legend are now called iconic formations. Space Marines got a handful of new ones which aren't Legion specific.
They're not Legion specific. Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
So they got a handful of new ones. But like the Ion Hands, let me see, the Seeker Killer Clave Altor got like a 40-point drop for the main detachment of formation, and then you kind of get like an extended formation that you can add on to the side. So you kind of get like the core formation for the formation of legend, fucking iconic formation, and then you kind of get like an expanded set of detachments that you can pay a set price for, and they get added on for like the whole thing. So most of them have gone down in points. So they got like a 40-point and a 10-point drop. The Iron Warriors, Bryoxis Macro Assault Wing, which I think is mostly Land Raiders and Terminators. That got like a 60-point drop. But the expanded detachments for some reason got a 10-point rise, which made me chuckle. The Peck Legion Harrow Group Arcadis got a 135-point drop.
Jesus.
So I can only assume that the original price was a flat-out typo.
Yeah, I guess so. That's
so
it's a hell of a drop, isn't it?
Yeah. So the Legion Armored Company formation from the original rulebook got an HQ slot added, compulsory HQ. Now that there's tank HQs, you can take like a Sicaran variant, a Predator, or a Kratos as an HQ for an armored company. So that got added in.
Yep.
Whereas previously, when they got added in one of the campaign books, they were kind of like you can use them as an HQ or a battle tank slot. But they kind of changed that, so they're just a fixed HQ now, and it got added to the armored company, which makes sense.
Cool.
Let me see. Storm Eagle's got a 15-point drop. That's part of the aerial assault formation.
Man, I can't believe they haven't done 30k Storm Eagles yet.
In plastic, that'd be great. It's such a nice model, but it's such a pain in the ass to put together.
Yeah, the resin ones suck, man. Those resin panels, they're nearly always warped, like the side fuselage panels.
Yeah,
Please,
they're a
GW,
nightmare.
make the sucker in plastic, please.
Yeah, I mean, I put mine together and I love the model. And then Neil was like, "Hey, I've got one of those in bits," and I was like, "You fucking keep it."
Yes.
Normally, I'm perfectly okay to put models together for people, but as soon as he said Storm Eagle, I was like, "No,
No. Absolutely horrific. If I'm being completely honest with you, anything like that that's got lots of plastic, plastic panels, like long flat panels, it's just awful. Like I had a Sicaran, and it just didn't go together. It was like some kind of weird Cthulhu-esque, oblique, angled nightmare.
Yeah, all the elastic bands and the heat in the world's not really going to help.
No, really not. No, sadly. So yeah, Storm Eagle would be lovely, but they've dropped those. Okay, cool.
Yeah, let me see. The drop pod assault formation now stipulates that units have to be embarked on the drop pods, which proper made me laugh. I was like, "Oh, fucking idiots dropping in every
Someone's
drop pod."
done it. So, someone has done it, or they've put it in an FAQ request, and the guys at Specialist Games have been like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, seriously?
Yeah.
Right, put it in the book."
Who the fuck asked that? Sell your models. Yeah, so they added in pinnacle weapons, which is nice. Some things like Land Raiders and Spartans had like a multi-melter pinnacle option, but other stuff like and Rhinos, of course, got a multi-melter option along with a Havoc launcher.
Mm-hmm.
But other stuff like the Kratos and a bunch of the Solar Auxilia tanks had heavy stubbers, and you could model them on the thing, but there was no rules for them, and they've added those in now.
That's one of the things that I do think with Legion Imperialis, they went a bit far. Like, I am quite happy for your, 5 millimeter long model. If you tell me that there's Stormbolters on there, I don't expect you to put Stormbolters on there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, there's you get a couple of bolt guns on top of the Rhinos, but they're
that's right. They're bastards to put on as well.
No, they're part of the coupler, so they're part of the flat disc.
Oh no, sorry, I meant the bolt guns that go. You've got ones that go on top of the the hull.
Pintle. Yeah, the pintle ones.
Yeah, they're a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Again, if your Rhino was lacking those and you told me they were there, I'm not going to. Do you know what I mean? I think that maybe having all of the weapons options was maybe a little bit over the top. I admire your zeal and your dedication. I also think you're a bit mad.
Yeah.
There's people who are magnetising the Legion Imperialis tanks. I was like, you crazy bastard.
No, it's not fucking worth it. I mean,
it's like Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park. You did it. You crazy son of a bitch, you did it. You were so preoccupied about whether or not you could. You didn't stop to think whether you could.
Yeah, whether you should. I mean, I magnetised my Sicaran turrets, but they've actually got recesses in them for magnets, so it's not too bad. And the Predator turrets are basically push fit, so it's not really needed.
Yeah.
But let me see, what else do we get? Legion Command, so Space Marine HQs gained Volkite charges. So they've got combi bolters and Volkite charges, which is a tiny bit of extra firepower, I suppose. Let me see. Predator autocannons. They're to hit increased to 4+ to hit instead of 5s, which makes them slightly more viable against the las cannon variant.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
I mean, I don't know if there. I mean, I presume there are some Legion Imperialis tournaments, but I don't know if there is a way for GW to get the metadata for these things, or if it is just a case of any games they've played themselves or playtesting that they've done themselves that would be used to try and balance the game, or if they just wait for people to message them going, "This is broken to fuck, please fix it," kind of thing.
I think a bunch of them are probably just either oversights or flat out mistakes from the original publishing, and then they've just, for whatever reason, not bothered to put it in a FAQ, and they've waited until now to sort it out. Like this one, the Kratos, the hull weapons, what I call the shoulder weapons, which are like at the front of the hull, there's one on each corner.
Yeah.
The autocannons and lads cannons lost accurate, which in Imperialis is basically twin linked. Which is good. Because they're not fucking twin linked, and they already get 2 dice, so they
just seem like a bit of a weird oversight, that one.
Yeah, it's like a double whammy. It's like they should either have 1 dice and be twin linked because there's 2, or they should not have twin linked or accurate and have 2 dice. So they took out accurate because it was a glaring oversight to me anyway. So And
Well,
like
I mean,
said,
we have no idea what it's like in there, do we? So we don't know if there is somebody just over their shoulder going, "Get this done, get this done, get this done, get this done, you bastards! This has got to be out by this time." You know, I've been told that basically Specialist Games is made up of all of the old school people who were working in the GW 10 years ago.
That's why I do good work.
And all the other studios are basically more or less new blood. That's what I've been told by a very reputable source.
Sure.
Sorry?
I said it kind of shows.
Yeah.
Let me see. So yeah, most Space Marine tanks gained heavy bolters as a pencil option for 5 points each.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Infantry tactical detachments. For every 4 tactical bases you take, 10 points. You can make one of them an apothecary, which is cool, and it gives them a 5+ feel no pain against light weapons fire.
Okay,
but
and there was no apothecary rule previously.
There was, but it was only in the Legion command. So the commander had an apothecary with him.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But unfortunately, they didn't do the same for Solar Auxilia. So they kind of have no access to fucking Medicaid at all, apparently.
Yeah, nobody cares if they die.
No.
Again, little pat on the head. Off you go. Go and die for the Emperor. Very
so
much.
That's cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, but that's only tactical bases. So like not plasma guns or launchers or any of the others.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, I always like more options and stuff.
Yeah. So let's have a look. Missile launchers no longer get the +2 close assault factor when they're added into the tactical detachment as an option. They've now got their own little stat line, and they're +1 as they should be when they're a separate detachment. It's the same. So they're not quite as good, but it's a little bit of a pain when you're going to have to remember that if you've got a mixed tactical detachment and they're in assault.
Yes. Yeah.
Terminators. The additional Terminators have gone up by 5 points. So if you want to add in extras, they're a 5-point increase. But Terminators gained Armored, which is the same rule that Dreadnoughts have, which means they re-roll failed saves against light weapons. Okay,
so that definitely sounds worth it to me.
Yes. So they got buffed against small arms, basically.
Which they should. I mean, like, this is one of the things. I mean, you have these visions, and the thing is, the game's never going to match your visions, but you have these visions of Terminators literally walking into hails of fire, and nothing is stopping them until the heavy weapons come out and then they take some hits. So,
as long as they're not pure strain gene stealers, they should be fine.
Yes, exactly. Well, I mean, God, second edition, Gene Stealers used to shred Predators like nobody's business. I remember that.
Damn.
Literally, it was like D8 +6 D6, I think, penetration. Yeah, you got 2 or 3 Gene Stealers on a Predator tank, and with 4 attacks each, they would quite happily shred a Predator. I can tell you that. Ridiculous.
Let me see. So plasma guns lost 2 inches of range, so they went from 10 to 8, which is the same as bolt guns, but they gained assault, which in Legions Imperialis is the equivalent of rapid fire. So at 4 inches, they get 2 shots instead of 1.
So would you say, like, overall with the changes? So I'm going to let you carry on unless we drop into single figure viewings. Would you say overall this is like a 1.5 with the amount of work they've done?
When it comes to units, yeah, but I wouldn't say it's kind of like an edition update like that because there's no core rules changes.
Gotcha. Okay. So
it's just improvements.
It does feel like a balanced data slate, then, doesn't it? Basically, yeah. Overall,
yeah.
Okay, cool. Yep, no worries.
So let me see. Missile launchers went up 10 points. They lost 1 to hit on frags, so they have 5+ to hit. And additionals went up by 5 points and 10 points. So clearly, someone at Spec Games thought they were putting in too much work and deleting infantry out of buildings with frag missiles. So let me see. Kratos got changed. Yep, did all of that. So yeah, Terminators getting armored, and they got a bit more expensive. Leviathan Dreadnoughts got separated out from Contemptors because in a Dreadnought Talon you had 4 Contemptors, and then you could bring along Leviathans as well.
That's what I remember. That that seemed weird.
Pretty much none of that is in this now, except for Marauders, like the aircraft. So anything that had a separate variant. So when you got Sicarans, you had like the autocannon Sicaran, and then you had like the Omega Plasma. Those are now separated out into separate detachments. You can't mix them up anymore.
Gotcha.
makes a little bit of me go, oh, that was kind of interesting. And on the other hand, I'm kind of like, just makes it a bit more straightforward getting shit done now.
Yeah, I think with the amount of detail, for want of a better word, I suppose, in the game, I don't mind there being a little bit of streamlining here and there because
Yeah. It
as I
seems to be a
said,
common
they went
theme,
a bit bonkers with the weapons in particular. I don't
I mean,
know if we needed-
30k got it as well in the new edition, so I think it seems to be a general directive at GW to streamline stuff and make it.
Yeah, which is fair enough. I think. I mean, with I think that in general, it's a hard line to walk. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You want your game to be accessible enough to not put people off, but you also want it to have enough detail and narrative to be entertaining.
Yeah, exactly.
And that is permanently always going to be a very hard line to try and toe. So I think they've done a great job so far, if I'm being honest.
I think they have as well. So let me see. So Leviathan Dreads themselves gained 1 to hit on storm cannons, so they're 4+ to hit now instead of 5.
Mm-hmm.
Contemptors got an extra dice to their carries assault cannons, so they went up to 2 dice each, which makes them more competitive against las cannon dreads. They also got their invulnerable stave bumped up by 1 to 5++ instead of 6, so that brings them into line with Leviathans and Derridios now. So they got slightly more survivable, which is cool. And they lost the ability to bring along Leviathans as well, which have always been a separate unit as well. But now you can't bring them in. You can't mix them in with a Contemptor Talon anymore. Deathstorm drop pods went up by 8 points, and they kind of lost their 2 dice plus D3, and they just kind of stuck at 2 dice, but they gained 1 extra to hit. So instead of it being 2 shots plus D3 and hitting everything near it on 6s, it's now just 2 dice hitting on 5s, which is roughly equivalent. It just doesn't have like the variance either side if you got like a 3 shots or 5.
Gotcha.
For the previous setup. Let me see. Yep, and they gained orbital assault, which was not sure why they bothered adding that in, because they're a drop pod, so they should have that anyway, because otherwise they're not going to deploy them to the table.
No. But again, as you say, just fixing oversight by looks of things.
Yeah, just consistency, I guess. Palisade shield drop pods got separated out, unfortunately, into detachments of 1. So rather than them being mixed in with a drop pod detachment, they're now you just drop in 1, and they got 7 points. They got 7 points price drop.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see if anyone is actually going to bother bringing those, given that they take up like an entire transport slot by themselves now for just 1 pod with like a 5++ invuln generator like around it. But Outriders dropped by 5 points, which are the bike dudes. They got cheaper, and they also got the same plasma gun change that infantry got, which makes sense because they're same plasma guns. Jet bikes got the movement bunched up from 10 to 12 inches and got a bit cheaper for additional jet bike units. Speeders got bumped up from 10 to 11 inches. They lost their every 1 in 2 loadout restriction upgrade. So now you can just give them whichever upgrades you want without having to field a certain number of them first, which is another common theme. Like Land Raiders lost that as well. So it's not like for every 3 Land Raiders you can give one a multi-melter. Now they're just like, fuck it, just give them all multi-melters if you want, just pay for the damn things.
Gotcha, yeah.
Which is cool. Javelin speeders got a bit more expensive. They also got the speed bumped up to 11 inches. But their Cyclone missile launcher upgrade or weapon swap kind of dropped from 2 points to nothing. So that's just a free change now. Not that I've ever seen anyone take Space Marine cavalry in a game. I tried them out once. They were very underwhelming.
And that's not a pattern overall with like making war gear free or anything like that. That's not so much. Let me see. So las cannon tarantulas dropped to 1 shot and gained accurate instead of being a weird 2-shot las cannon. So now they're 1-shot twin linked. Yeah, we talked about that, didn't we?
So yeah, I mean that's okay. All tanks gained pinnacle heavy bolters for 5 points. Cyclones got separated out into different detachments. Standard and Omega Sicarans got dropped by 15 points. But both of their additional, if you wanted to add on additional Sicarans, they both went up by 10 points. So they're cheaper to start with, but to add in more, it costs more.
Mm-hmm.
Which is weird because the unit's not changed. Let me see. Sicaran Punishers went down
Probably to
20
stop
points.
spam of some description. That's generally why they do these things.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, Punishers went down 20 points, and their additionals went down by 10, 20, and 50 points for an extra 1, 2, 3 tanks. Arcus went down 20 points, and they went down by similar amounts. Predator autocannons got an extra to hit, so they now hit on 4+ instead of 5s. Kratos squadrons got a 10-point drop. Their whole las cannon and autocannons lost accurate, and they got an increase for each additional Kratos you want to bring along after the first two, which is like 5, 20, and 50-point increases. But I didn't put the numbers on that, so I'm assuming that's for 1, 2, and 3 extra Kratos. Rhinos got a hunter killer missile option, which is new. There's no. I don't think there's any mod. Is there models?
I don't think there is. I used to love hunter killers back in the day.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Which is range 12, 1 dice, hits on a 5+, -2 AP, which ain't bad. Anti-tank, which means you can't use the -2 AP on infantry, and 1 shot. And that's 5 points as well as any Pintle upgrades, which have all got normalized to 5 points.
Cool.
Spartans dropped 10 points each. Land Raiders dropped 5 points each. Termites dropped down 4 points. Drop pods went up 4 points each. I suspect that was to round them out because they were a stupid price before. And dread pods went up 5, potentially for the same reason, but I might just be styling that out. Storm Eagles went down 15 points.
You've said that. You're repeating yourself, Matthew.
Well, no, but the earlier drop was from the detachment, like the formation, the aerial assault one. They still don't have Tempest launchers because they shouldn't. That was a misprint in the original book. And if you want to bring along an extra 1 or 2, then they are 25 points and 40 points cheaper, which is nice. Fire Raptors went down 10 points each. Thunderhawks lost 5 inches of movement, so they went down to 20 inches. Their turbo laser didn't lose accurate, which it really should, because it's not twin linked. Like, it's the same as the Warhound one in the rules, but the Warhound clearly has 2 of the damn things. The Thunderhawk has 1. So I might house rule it to take accurate out of that because it shouldn't be twin linked. But I don't think the Thunderhawks are in a great place at the moment anyway, so I don't really want to nerf them.
Drop the points, maybe.
Maybe they're still 150 points each.
It does seem a lot for something that's only got 3 wounds.
It's 2 wounds and a 2+ save, so it's fairly okay against like small arms fire and stuff. But if anything bigger looks at it, it's going to be in trouble.
It's going to say goodbye.
Especially if it's something that's already got Skyfire, like a Sicaran, or if it's something like a Vulcan Megabolter or like a Swarmer Pod from a Warhound that fires a lot of shots that need 6s to hit. I remember Gribbs took his Thunderhawk and we were like, yay, plonked it down in the middle of the table. Like, all the dudes got out of it and I promptly just blew the shit out of it. And I was like, that was really fucking easy. That was way easier than I expected it to be. So for a 150-point flyer that has a decent amount of firepower, I kind of expected it to be more resilient. But
yes, that makes sense.
So it's mainly the fact that it's a flyer that stops it from getting destroyed because it only gets hit on 6s unless you skimmer it or you land it to drop people off.
Cool, okay.
But yeah, so they took 5 points of speed away from it, and I was like, that's not helping. But okay, fine. The other weird thing is that the heavy bolters on it are the only heavy bolters in the game that are light AT instead of light, so they can actually damage vehicles. I'm assuming that's a typo. Yeah,
this is the weird stuff that I'm just like, this can't be... Like, they can't be that granular about it. It's got to be some kind of oversight or something,
Yeah, exactly. I'm kind of like, look, if you want heavy bolters to be more useful, make them light AT across the board so that they can damage vehicles, but if they've got an AP, it doesn't count.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just weird because on some of the aircraft, you see them have heavy bolters with Skyfire, and I'm like, the only things in this game that fly are vehicles, and heavy bolters can't hurt them. So why have you bothered?
Why have you done that? Yeah, it just seems a bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think it's a typo. I mean, let's face it. When you've got that many units, you are going to get a few creep in. They shouldn't be there for the price that you charge for this shit, but you're going to get a couple. How much more of this have you got?
Not a lot. I'll go through it quick.
Okay. I'm putting you on a 15-minute limit. I'll try and wrap up by 11:30.
Okay, cool. Stop interrupting. So let me see. Solar Auxilia, some of their fancy formations got drops, like the Talon Reborn one got a 50-point drop and 10 points. The Siegebreaker Company got a spelling correction and a 70-point and a 30-point drop. Tactical Command swapped las rifles for Volkite chargers, so they've got slightly less range, but they get deflag rate. Las Rifle Tertio las rifles got Ripple Fire, which re-rolls ones to hit on a first fire order, so they got slightly more killy, I guess. Ogrins, if you add them to a las rifle Tertio as an upgrade, they have doubled from 15 to 30 points.
Oof. Okay. Because I know they were a little bit of a problem, especially with transports.
Yeah, Ogrins gained an extra wound, so they're 2 wounds per base now, and got bulky, so now they don't fit into Albus Lighters.
Yeah, which was just people just hello, have 8 bases of
yeah, exactly.
Ogrins. It's like, oh shit.
You get all those in there. It's like a clown car.
Exactly. Yeah.
So an Ogrin section itself went up 20 points. The additional points for them basically doubled, but then so did the wounds that the models have.
Yep.
So that seemed fair enough. Valataris points went up for like their the Power Axe guys and Flamer guys, which is kind of rough. But meh. The little Cyclops explodey things got cheaper and are no longer added to a formation's break point, which is good. Basically, in this, when a formation loses half of its models, it becomes broken. You've gone past the break point, and it has an impact on what orders you can give things in that and their leadership and a bunch of other stuff. So they don't count towards that anymore. Not that I ever saw anyone take them. So Rapier Carriers went up 10 points, but you get 4 instead of 3. So it worked out roughly the same. And they're now added in 4. You can add 4 or 8 for 50 points or 100 points. So they've gone up, but you get another model. So it's all good. Tarantulas got cheaper by 6 points. And they went down from 4 models to 3. So they got the opposite treatment, which is slightly weird.
Okay, so if you buy a box, then you've got like an extra tarantula knocking about.
Yeah, I think so. It's
bit weird, but okay.
It's an odd one. Heavy Sentinels, multi-lasers lost 2 inches of range from 14 to 12 inches, which is, again, a bit of an odd change. And their frag missiles got changed from 4+ to hit to 5. But then Marines got that as well, so seems fair enough. Lehman Russes all got separated out into separate things. I mean, the later Russes that they did in campaigns were separated out anyway, but now the original strike ones, they're not a mix of weapons anymore for the main turret. So
gotcha, okay.
So they all got the option to bring along heavy stubbers. Most of them got cheaper quite a bit. So Lehman Russ strike units got 15 points taken off, and their ads got cheaper. Vanquishers kind of went up slightly, but they have got a much better turret cannon. So people were taking them over anything else, so they got more expensive to kind of persuade that. Annihilators, which I think are the double las cannon ones, they got cheaper by 5 points. Terminators and Executioners got cheaper by 15. Demolishers went down 10. Malcadors, which are the weird long tanks which predated the Lehman Russ.
Yep.
They were they were a weird 3+ save 2 wound models. They all got increased to a 2+ save. So the Malcador and all their variants are now a 2+ save 2 wound tank.
Okay.
So they're tougher than Russes, which again gives you another reason to bring them. And they all went cheaper. They all got cheaper between 5 and 15 points for each variant, which is cool. Baneblades and Hellhammers got separated out instead of just being a weird Solar Auxilia super heavy tank with different turret weapons you can put on it.
Okay, yep.
All the Solar Auxilia super heavy tanks got bumped up from 2 wounds to 3, which is good because they died quite easily.
Yeah, a little bit more survivability there.
Yeah, you look at them next to a Kratos, and it's like clearly it's a heavier tank, but it was no more survivable.
No.
And they're trying to fix that now. which is cool. Let me see. So they changed Baneblades and Hellhammers. They now max out at 3 models instead of 6, which makes more sense given how fucking big they are.
Mm-hmm.
So Stormhammers, the Stormhammer cannon lost its front arc because it's a turret. So they fixed that, which was cool. Shadow Swords went down 20 points. Storm Swords got an extra wound. They didn't change in cost. Storm Blades went down 10 points. Onto artillery, so like Bastions. So Medusa's got 10 points taken off. And their main weapon lost Demolisher and Barrage and they swapped it for Heavy Barrage, which is actually better because it does both of those jobs and then a bit more, which is cool. And they got cheaper if you added additionals, and Basilisks also got made cheaper as well. Dracosan Transports went up 5 points to a weird 42 points, but they also got an extra wound, so now they're 2 wound models with large transport, so you can fit in the new bulky Ogryns. Cool. And all Marauder variants got an extra wound, and the Destroyer upgrade went from 10 points to 3, but I don't really know those as aircraft. I never like the look of them, so I don't know how effective they are. But they look like quite good bombers, which I think is what their main job is anyway. So just quickly on to mech. They added in a Myrmidax Conclave, if you really want to bring more Myrmidons with your Myrmidons.
Who wouldn't want double Myrmidons?
Yeah, so it's like 1 HQ and then 3 Myrmidon hosts with an extra HQ and 2 Myrmidon hosts and a transport slot. So there's no special rule for it or anything. It's just like, I heard you wanted more Myrmidons. Here you go. So Tech Thralls are an odd one. They went up 10 points and they gained an extra base. So now they're a thoroughly fucking awkward 5 bases, which is what you get in the box. But the Trioros transport only fits in 4. So it's royally fucked up any mechanized any mechanized formations that you're going to bring along, because now you need to bring along a whole bunch of extra fucking transports which ain't cheap to fit them in.
Yeah, that's it's a bit of a weird one, isn't it?
It's odd, but is what it is, I guess. So now they match up with the number of models you get in the box. So
yes, yeah.
Thalax got its plasma fusel changed to a multi-melter, which was in a previous update anyway. So this just kind of confirms that. And it was kind of expected, because when you look at the models, they don't have a plasma fusel. They've got a multi-melter. So it was a bit of an odd one to start with. And they fixed that, and they got slightly cheaper for additional ones. Secutor's got a similar change. They got plasma fusels added to them, which again was from a previous update. And they're on the model. So it makes sense. So they got a bit more killy, and they got a bit more expensive, but then they got a whole extra weapon per stand. So they're gonna, I guess. Destructors get both weapons, because in the original list it kind of said you can bring along Volkites or conversion beamers, despite the models having both, like a mix of them. So they changed it to say, actually now they have both. So I had to go along and fucking snap half of mine off and then glue them back onto other ones, so they're mixed again.
I'd never do, as I said, if your model's Wizardwig at Legions Imperialis level, no, it's fine. It's fine. I will let you off.
It mattered to me because both of those weapons do very different jobs. So I wanted them to be representative, so to speak. So Domitar Automata, they lost a shot on their frag missile, which is unlike the Marine and Solar Auxilia Sentinel frag missiles, but they kept their 4+ to hit. So it's less shots, but a better chance to hit. Castellax and Krios Venators got a tiny 5-point drop if you reinforce them. The Ursarax, which are like the melee version of the Thalax, went up 10 points, but they finally got fucking claws on their profile, because I used those in my game against Stu last week, and I sent a bunch of them. I had 6 of them, and they assaulted Marines in a building. All of them got fucking murdered by Overwatch except for 3 bases, and they literally just bounced off. They just had a shitty +3 close assault factor, and nothing to account for the fact that they're supposed to have lightning claws and power fists. So they got rend now, which is an extra D6 in assault, which is pretty good.
So that'll make the difference then, at least.
Yeah, they're finally useful. So they kind of got more expensive across the board, but they got the weapon that they should have, which is cool. Vorax, Voltrax, Sanitars, and Karaknos, like artillery tanks, got a tiny 5-point drop for additional stuff. The Trioros transport went up 7 points, and it lost large, which again was from a previous update, which was a fucking weird one, because when you bring along like a mechanized formation for Mechanicum, the special rule still says infantry and walker detachments can bring along a Trioros as a dedicated transport. And I'm like, now that they're not large transports anymore, you ain't fitting walkers in them.
No.
So, which you can't do in 30k anyway. Like, excuse me while I disassemble this Thanatar and stuff it in the side hatch.
Seems like a redundancy, that, doesn't it, really?
Yeah, it's just weird. I don't know what they were thinking when they did that. Like, but yeah, so they lost large, so you can't put automata in like you're not supposed to anyway. But they kept it as part of a formation that has automata walkers, and it's kind of like, I don't quite get that, but I guess it's a way to bring along a fairly decent transport as a dedicated transport, which means 1, it doesn't take up a transport slot, and 2, it's not added towards the formation's breakpoint again.
Fair enough.
So those are kind of 2 benefits, but it's just weird. But they got shock rams, which they should have anyway. But yeah, they're just odd. Like with the changes, you can't put walkers in them, and you can't put 5 thrall bases in them. So it's peculiar, but now they've got some weapons that they should have, even though they're more expensive. That's pretty much it for mech unit changes.
Fair enough.
The Demi Manipul Turner got a 175 and a 205-point drop. Pretty fat. And the Tertia Cybernetica Cohort got a 70-point and 90-point drop. Those are both like iconic formations. Dark Mech didn't really get any changes. Oh yeah, I'll put a little note at the bottom with a sad face. These fucking changes hiked my 2,000-point list by 100 points. Sad face.
Some reworking there then.
Yeah, bastards. So Dark Mech didn't really get any changes, given they were the newest lot.
Yeah. I'm kind of wondering if they're going to get more bits, to be honest.
They might do. I mean, it
seems to have gone quite quiet, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, when you use them, there's 2 ways you can bring along like a Dark Mechanicum force. You can bring along a Mechanicum force that's just a traitor aligned. So there's no special rules, there's no missing units. You don't bring along any of the new units or anything like that. It's just standard mech stuff, but bad guys. Or you can bring along a Dark Mech formation, one of the new ones that includes like the new constructs, but they effectively replace the automata in the list. So a bunch of the other stuff like infantry, like myrmidons and stuff, you can still bring along, but basically anything that's automata gets dropped in favor of constructs.
Okay, gotcha.
So if you want automata, traitor. If you want to bring along new constructs, then it's proper Dark Mech. But you know, they're both traitors, so you can do both. Bring along 2 formations. The Overlord's got a 5-point drop on 3 extra models, and the Sibilan's Tagma from the campaign book Fancy Formation got a 44-point and a 27-point drop. I put a little question mark next to 27 points. I'm like, that's a fucking weird amount of points to drop. 27. Knights and Titans are the last 2 bits. They got some pretty decent changes. Armature banners got separated out, so they're a separate unit now. They're not an upgrade for a Knight banner anymore.
Oh, that's good.
And they are fixed at 3 models, which I'm not overly impressed with because I used to field them in like 6s, so they actually did proper work.
Yeah, and don't they come in boxes of 4?
For the armatures, I'm not sure because I got mine from Forge World, so they were in 3s in resin.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if they do them in plastic. They do, don't they?
I thought they did. I thought they changed them to plastic. Let me have a quick look.
Like I said, I didn't pay any attention because I already had them at that point.
While you carry on, because you have 3 minutes left.
Okay, I can do this. So yeah, they all dropped by 60 points. So that was pretty decent. And the assault cannon guys, like the Helverins, got +1 dice and +1 to hit. So they actually got a fair bit better. Mech Moirax banners got a 65-point drop, but again, they're fixed at 3 models. Questoris banners got a 50-point drop. They got a +1 save. All knights got a +1 save. So they're all 2+ saves across the board now, except for like the Armiger little guys. So they're more survivable.
They are still Forge World. They are still free. Carry on.
Fair enough. So yeah, Questoris got a 50-point drop, and they also got I think they got an extra point of save on their iron shields, which again all knights got. So now I think all iron shield saves for like Questoris patterns and bigger are now 3+ instead of 4.
Okay.
So that makes them a lot more useful. Let me see. Mech Questoris are now separate, so the Mechanicum, like fuck me, I completely forgot what they're called. The Styrix and the Megara are now both separate detachments. They're no longer upgrades for standard Questoris knights. They got a 55-point drop with a 65 drop on additionals. Their lightning cannon lost blast, which may be a sad panda, but it brings them in line with like the Mechanicum tank that also, like the Krios, which also has a lightning cannon. Cerastus banners got a 55-point drop, and they got a +1 save, and additionals also got cheaper. The Atropos, like Mech Cerastus, also got a 55-point drop, and it gained an Ionic Flare Shield, which it should have because it's a Mechanicum knight. Porphyrions got a 20-point drop, and they got +1 wound because they couldn't get anything better than a 2+ save, so they got an extra wound instead.
Sounds fair enough. Yay for the Spud Knight.
Yeah. So they got a bonus to their Ion Shield saves as well. And the Asterius, which is like the mech version, is now a separate unit instead of like an option for a Porphyrion banner. And they got a drop by 30 points. And they also got an extra wound and an extra point of save on their Ion Shield.
Cool.
So Titans, and this won't take long at all, Warhound's got a 30-point drop. The fucking Plasma Blast Gun got an extra dice. So now it's 3 dice and no longer outclassed by the Turbo Laser in every way.
Nice. It's good when they fix something like that, because it's like the hand flamers for the Gene Stealers, and they're just like, in the end, they're just like, well, we'll make an entirely separate unit and an entirely separate data card again because we can't fix this. Thanks.
Yeah.
GW.
Well, the thing is, it bugged me because a Vulcan Megabolter and a Plasma Blast Gun has been my standard Warhound loadout since fucking 2nd edition Epic. And in AT, it's great because the blast gun gives you actual 3-inch blasts put down, and the Vulcan Megabolter is great for wrapping shields and rear armor and damage Sextons and Titans and all sorts of stuff. But in this, they were kind of like, in Imperialis, there are precious few weapons that actually have a blast template. So the Melter Blast Gun on the Kratos, no blast. The Plasma Blast Gun on the Warhound, no blast. And it was kind of outshone by the Turbo Laser Destructor that it could take, because all the weapons for Warhounds in this are free, like all Titan weapons, you don't pay for them. And so it had the same number of dice. The Turbo Laser had a longer range. It had a better to hit, and probably I think it had like a better AP or a very similar AP and Shield Bane for taking actions and stuff. Off the top of my head, I might be wrong about the last part. But in an example, in like a little paragraph example, it has a Warhound firing with a blast gun rolling 3 dice. And I was like, you fucked this up. Just 3 dice. And I've said that since day one. And now they've added in a 3rd dice.
They fixed it, yeah.
I fucking knew it. I felt like Brian Blessed on Have I Got News for You, where he's like, I fucking love it with these eggheads when I win. And Ian Hislop's like, it's like you're hosting the show, you're not supposed to win.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Warhound's got an extra wound as well. All Titans gain an extra wound across the board, so they're again more survivable. And they got a 30-point drop. Direwolves got a 35-point drop. Reaver's got a 15-point drop. Warbringer's just got an extra wound. Warlord's got an extra wound and 2 extra voids. So now they've got 8 void shields instead of 6, which bucks the trend. They're supposed to have 6, but hey, stops them dying, so fine, whatever. And then what proper made me laugh, and this is the last one. The front of the book itself has got a nice big War Master
on it, yeah.
Proud on the front. They went up by 100 points.
Oof, Jesus.
And that proper made me laugh. They got an extra wound, and I'm assuming that the 100 points is because they've got a 1+ save.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Which they had anyway.
Yeah.
And when you add an extra wound to that, it's a bit like, oh, come on. So that was it. That's pretty much the Strategica book, and I overran by 2 minutes. So
that's fine. I interrupted you. I will let you off. I will be putting chapters in anyway, So anybody who wants a super detailed breakdown of the changes in Legion Imperialis can indulge to their heart's content. But anybody who wants to skip it, because that was 50 minutes, I think, can skip it and get to the other stuff. So what we're going to talk about... Yeah, absolutely. Well, no, I appreciate you doing the work, dude. Appreciate you doing the work. And, it deserves to be covered. But, if anybody's not interested in Legion Imperialis, that was a long chunk of time. But no, I appreciate it, dude. And in all honesty, it sounds like they've made some good fixes.
Yes.
Should it have needed fixing? No. Am I grateful they did it anyway? Yes. Should they have made the updates free? Yes. Should you have to buy the book? No. Are these books generally available digitally in the end anyway? Yes. So, fair enough. So just two things to cover quickly. One, Tomb World. We all knew this was going to be popular. It sold out in seconds. Wanker scalpers on eBay chucking it up for ridiculous money. I noticed that on top of that, there are also stores, third-party retailers, chucking them up for crazy money as well. A little bit like when GW gave out that Sergeant Apone Catachan figure.
Ah, he looked good.
And it was meant to be like a giveaway thing for retailers to, promote, to get extra sales out of.
Over COVID, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Correct. To help the stores out, which was a nice touch. Nice one, GW. I don't often say that. And loads of retailers went and sold him for like 80 quid, whatever they needed. But Tomb World, we all knew it was going to be popular. Kill Team is way more popular than Warcry. Always has been. Look, just 40k is more popular than every other system. You need to learn this, third-party retailers. You need to order double what you would do for Age of Sigmar. Just simple as that. But GW underproduced it, sent very few out to third-party retailers, which is why many of them went the route of just selling it over the odds. And that price list that we saw earlier did actually tell retailers that they can sell for more than RRP if they want to. In the UK, at least, that is not a problem. So that's what many of them have chosen to do. But it sold out in seconds. Lots of people missed out. Lots of sellers on eBay. I did manage to pick one up purely because Chaos Cards puts their pre-orders up on a Monday, not a Sunday. So
don't tell everyone the secret.
I guess I've just given away that secret to the 12 people watching at the moment. But in general, another failure by GW. Just thought I'd get your take on that real quick, Matt. Because another one where the scalpers win. Scalper heaven.
Well, I might have some spares, so
yeah.
I cast a wide net on that one because I actually really wanted it, and I wasn't sure if you would get one either.
No,
so
that's right. You potentially had an extra one for me just in case, but I did manage to grab one.
At least one spare. So I'll either just chuck it up on eBay a little bit cheaper than retail and see where it goes, or if anyone wants it, just give me a shout and I'll just scooch it over to them for what I paid for it plus postage.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, and I would expect anybody who picks it up off Matt, please do not go and sell it for a profit. We would rather that an actual hobbyist that wants it got hold of this, and Matt will let it go for not stupid fucking money, retail price. He shouldn't have to lose out on postage or anything like that, but he's not gonna gouge you. Assuming that the copy he got from me does come through, and assuming that my copy comes through, so I haven't had any confirmation of shipping yet, but the order is okay. But just generally another cock up from GW that was just a real shame, because they should know by now what they need to produce, what they don't need to produce. I can't believe that they haven't worked this out, that Kill Team always sells out. And from GW's perspective, they don't care. As long as they sell, they don't care who buys them. GW did not put any limits on copies of Kill Team, like they have in the past. So it wasn't like only one per postcode or per account. So if somebody got on there and used a bot and managed to buy 10, they managed to buy 10. And then they would be able to sell them. And we did see that on eBay yet again. The last thing that we're going to talk about today is a board game that I picked up recently, Matt. And that board game is Battle of Hoth. Now, I have a detailed review coming out for this that I recorded today, but I've decided to keep it for a couple of days because I don't want to put all the content out in one day because YouTube, it basically fucks the algorithm. But we'll talk about it quickly on the stream before we end it. This is a game by Days of Wonder, who make stuff like Ticket to Ride. And what that means is that it is deliciously simple to play. So there's the back of the box. Basically, you get a load of little minis, a small board, and a thing to hold your cards. And what you do is you play these cards, and it will have like either activate a certain amount of units, or it will show the map and it will show the left-hand side, and it will say 2, so you can activate 2 units. And when you activate a unit, you move and then you shoot. And if we just go further into the box, you get like 2 campaigns. So there's your campaign for the Rebels, and there's your campaign, the second campaign. So you get like the Rebel side that the Rebel player has, and then you get the Imperial side that the Imperial player has. The scenario book, there are 17 scenarios technically that you play with the standard rules. And then if you're mad enough to buy 2 copies of the game, you can put them together and play like a super massive battle. So yeah, why not? And as you can see, like, it's just, these are your units that you lay out. These are the tiles that you need. Hang on, just move my... Let's just take my bloody face off there. Oh, that's yours. Sorry, mine. So yeah, sorry, dude. So these are the tiles. These are the victory conditions. I mean, to be fair, I could have just shrunk them down, but that's a lot of effort. Let me just... There we go. There we go. But yeah, it's really, really simple to play. I really enjoyed it. Basically, you have 3 dice if you're next to the unit, 2 dice if you're 1 step away, 1 dice if you're 3 hexes away. You need certain results to kill certain things. So, for example, to kill an 80-80, you need to roll a mechanical or a hit, and then on top of that, you need to roll another hit. So you pick up your hit, and you need to get another hit to destroy an 80-80. There's your components, and you're setting up the game page. There's all your bits. So it all goes back in the box really nicely. You've got these nice embossed boxes to put all your stuff into. Tiles will go there. Massive points for being able to put everything back in the box and not having like to put things in a separate box or something like that. And here's the game. So the models are really nice. Land speeders are fast, but they've got a shorter range than troops. You can move 2 squares of troops and shoot if you and not shoot if you want to. So you've got like a run move. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that these games take about 20 to 25 minutes to play. At least the early scenarios did. You know, we played the first 2 scenarios. I will be painting up all of these at some stage. And yeah, this was really funny actually, because you'll see it in the review video that I've done. But my 2 land speeders went in and tried to destroy the 80-80, failed miserably, and it was the troopers that ended up taking it out.
They looped it.
They literally looped it, yeah, just at the last second. Let me just get through the photos, which are not in order, because these are just all from the review. Yeah, so there's some of the cards. So you can see, like here, it says you can move 1 unit from the left-hand side, but whereas normally you just draw 1 command card for the second, like when you end your turn, to get yourself back up to your base hand size, this allows you to take 2 cards and, you know, choose 1, discard the other. But there's some, like, you know, trump cards in there that will let you do lightning assaults and things like that. These are the, you know, the dice. These are what you need to destroy infantry, basically. So that would be a perfect roll if it was a real dice roll. Where's the rest of the component sections? So we played this game, and basically I won both games, but it was very, very close, because you get 2 points for destroying a command game in the opening mission. In other missions, you get nothing for destroying a probe droid, which sucks. And the unit size, so the Imperials get 4 units, or 4 dudes
Hex?
Per hex, and the Rebel snowtroopers get 3. So it shows the Imperial, basically the Imperials get like an extra wound almost. So it shows the Imperial superiority in numbers. Sorry, Kevin, snow speeders, what did I say? I'm not supposed to say snow speeders? Incom, whatever it is, snow speeder. I don't know the number. Disney broke me, what can I say? But yeah, it's really cool. You've got some terrain rules, like these prevent movement, these block line of sight. Line of sight is just middle of tile to middle of tile, and if it goes over anything, then that blocks it. Let me try and find the...
Oh, no, wait, they're land speeders, aren't they?
Are they land speeders?
We're having trouble adapting the land speeders to the cold.
Yeah, they should be called snow speeders. I've never seen them anywhere apart from Arctic regions. Those are Gundam. Ignore those. There we go. So you'll see that you've got like these cheat cards here. So this one shows you all of the terrain rules. And then this is what you need. So on the left is what you need to destroy the unit. Here's your movement. And then you've got your dice rolls and how many dice you get. It's beautifully simple, man. Air speeders, T47, Incom T47 air speeders. I'm always going to call them snow speeders, just like I'm always going to call the Drakari Dark Eldar forever.
Truth.
There's your tokens. They're double-sided. It's just a really nice little game, man. And it was like, what, 50 quid? I got it a little bit cheaper from I think it was Wayland. Thoroughly recommended. Full review will be coming out probably on Wednesday because I am taking tomorrow off YouTube. And yeah, I'll have a full breakdown review with some snippets from Empire Strikes Back coming out. But it was just a great game. And me and Kirsty managed to get through 2 games of it in 50 minutes or so. So really quick and easy to play. Simple enough for a youngster to pick up, provided any youngsters are interested in Star Wars. And if you've done the job right, you should be showing them the real Star Wars anyway. I loved it. Yeah. Hearty recommendation. All goes back in the box. Nothing not to like. And the thing I really like about it is it says on the box at the front, Galactic Battles series. So like maybe they're going to do Death Star. Imagine a Battle for Scarif one set on the beach with TIE Strikers and Y-Wings. Lots of possibilities, man. Lots of replayability. As I say, 2 complete scenarios. I thought it was like 4, but it's 2. It's just you get 1 book for each side of it that you read as you go through it. So it's like set up scenario 1. If you win scenario 1, or if the Rebels win scenario 1, you play scenario, 6. If the Empire wins scenario 1, then you play scenario 4, for example. And then each campaign is like 4 scenarios overall. But yeah, really, I thoroughly recommend this game. As you get into later scenarios, you can upgrade your units with tokens. So you don't get other models, unfortunately, but they want to keep the cost down. But you like put a token next to them, like you've got a advanced scout infantry option or elite squadrons. Look, it says Snow Speeder, and this is approved by Lucasfilm. Look, I am vindicated, or something. I don't know. I was going by the book. But yeah, really good little game. Well recommend it. I'm going to play it loads. Full review coming in the next couple of days. And that was the last thing really that I had to mention, Matt. Did you have anything else? Is he still there? Has he fallen asleep? Matthew? There's no snoring, so I don't think he's fallen asleep. But yeah, Snow Speeders. Yeah, great game, guys. Great game. Really would recommend picking this one up, and I really hope that they do some other stuff going forward and give us some other models. Y-Wings, TIE Fighters, TIE Strikers. I mean, imagine a Death Star one. Imagine a Death Star version of the game. It'd just be brilliant. A Death Star one would be tricky. You'd have to do the trench all the way down the middle, I guess. Maybe not enough space for a space combat one. That's the only thing, is the board's pretty small. But that means the game's really quick. So, yay. So yeah, great game. And that's it for now, guys. We'll catch you on another CHEBS soon. Thanks for watching.